Oregon, a land of adventure and awe.
That was a great take.
A treasure, majestic and hidden. A state that calls out for exploration and experience. The journey of discovery begins now. From KGW, this is Grants Getaways.
Hi there, I'm Grant McComey, your host and outdoor reporter for KGW's Grants Getaways, where each week we explore Oregon's people, places, and outdoor adventures. You know, most news reporters that I know are like stones skipping across the surface of a pond that is moving from story to story each day of the week. While I, on the other hand, have gotten myself good and wet, thoroughly immersed in some timely issue, some fascinating people, exciting outdoor adventures. I have also traveled from corner to corner, thousands of miles, and here is a little secret: I have loved every minute of it. Part of the pleasure I enjoy is the opportunity to bring those stories to you. And this week on Grants Getaways, we visit the rugged edge of Oregon and a wild stretch of coastline called the Cape Perpetua scenic area. And it's a gathering of eagles in the Columbia River Gorge at a place that may surprise you, the Dalles Dam Eagle Watch. And a local artist has taken his art in a new direction through a children's book that offers a sense of wonder about all things outdoors. But first, volunteers are building a fishing future on Oregon's coastal rivers. We join two godfathers of Broodstock steelhead to enjoy their results along Oregon's Nestucca River. If there is a stronger Oregon fishing tradition than driftboat steelhead,
that's funny, that's just about exactly where we hooked the one yesterday.
I really don't know what or where.
We haven't seen for sure, but I think it's a wild fish.
Two lucky anglers, Jack Smith with the net, Buzz Ramsey holding the rod.
We think wild. Yeah, it's a wild fish.
Get away from it all to support an idea they brought to life 25 years ago.
How'd you do? That looks like a spawner.
It's spawned out.
It is.
Oregon's Broodstock Steelhead Project.
So we're going to let it go.
The two fishermen have been so dedicated to the project, they've been nicknamed the godfathers of Broodstock.
It just makes sense. If you're going to make hatchery fish, you might as well make them as much like wild fish as possible instead of unlike wild fish as possible.
To me, at least, that was a big reason to go to Broodstock and have a fish that's more like wild fish, comes in over a longer period of time, has a potential for a higher percentage of large fish.
Jack and Buzz partnered with the Oregon Fish and Wildlife Department in '96 and started it all on the Wilson River. The idea was simple enough: catch and collect a limited number of wild adult steelhead and keep them alive in aerated aluminum boxes.
It's got an aerator in it, runs off a battery. It holds several steelhead in here for a few hours. And now we're down here at the drop-off point to put it in our collection box here.
That collection tank is still the drop-off point for anglers who participate in the Broodstock project.
That's why I'm doing this.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Carry on the tradition. You know, this younger generation has to be here to help provide for the future generation, and my kids to fish and my grandkids to fish, and that's why I'm doing it.
You know, Jack has been in this from the beginning.
He's the godfather.
When we collect adults, we get to put them there right on the river, and then they can come over and pick them up with a truck. So it's handy for the angler collecting adults.
Up to 53 pairs of wild adult fish are moved to nearby Trask River Hatchery.
So that's a male steelhead. And each fish get 2 number tags, 14.3 pounds. This is a female.
It's their live spawn and then released.
Hatchery manager Jim Scar says each female carries up to 3,000 eggs.
So that's a 2-ounce sample, and I actually count these to get an eggs per ounce. So combined total is 49 ounces of eggs. Then you multiply that by egg to the ounce times the number of ounces 11,000 eggs out of those 3 fish. Outstanding.
So, hundreds of thousands of baby fish are produced each season. The baby fish carry the same genetic characteristics as their parents, so they're better adapted to native rivers. And there is more. Scar pointed with great pride to the new Trask River hatchery that houses the baby fish. It replaces the nearby century-old hatchery, whose foundation is crumbling under walls of rotting lumber. The new building boasts more than 10,000 square feet of space for egg incubation systems, rearing ponds for baby fish, and a state-of-the-art water filtration and plumbing system. There's new office space, residential housing for hatchery employees, and featured prominently are these gorgeous Oregon photos by local landscape photographer Jared Juarez. Jim insists that the new $3 million facility is an asset to the community and will provide a fine gathering site for years to come.
Our vision is when we have stakeholders meetings, meetings with fishing or hunting groups, we can come and have them here. We want to share this with the community.
Meanwhile, back out on the Nestucca.
There's been a lot talked recently about the importance of wild fish and hatchery fish. Wild fish because we love our northwest salmon and steelhead, and hatchery fish because we want to catch one and take one home once in a while.
Since the broodstock fish are raised for release in a hatchery,
looks like a beauty.
When they return from the ocean as adults, like this one, they are fish that anglers can keep.
You can do it, Grant! Ooh, yeah. Nice.
As many as 10 Oregon rivers from Astoria to Brookings now have a broodstock project.
It's a keeper.
Man, that's a nice steelhead, guys.
Based on the Godfather's belief, more fish, better fisheries.
I think the broodstock program worked.
Stay with us. We visit the rugged edge of Oregon at a wild stretch of coastline called the Cape Perpetua National Scenic Area, when Grants Getaways continues. In winter, except for wind and surf, the coast slows down. Easy to understand, few distractions, few folks around, especially along Oregon's rugged side of life. Over 40 miles of central coastline, starting at Walport, on a stretch marked by steep headlands, jagged volcanic outcrops, and scenic drama.
The sheer beauty. Probably the most photogenic lighthouse in the world is Hasita Head. The trails, the overlooks, the viewpoints, the rocky shorelines, no matter where you travel in the world, this is still one of the most scenic areas.
It is so significant a place, 2,700 acres of massive Cape Perpetua are designated National Scenic Area. 2 miles south of Yachats, a visitor center that's open daily.
You've got this unbelievable forest and all sorts of green and mosses and ferns and giant trees.
Once you leave the interpretive center at Cape Perpetua, you have lots of choices for hiking. And that's really the beauty of this place. Over 27 miles of hiking trails, about 11 different trails, and the wonderful thing is they're all at one point or another interconnected. So we've come from the forest and the interpretive center, now we're headed down to the beach. The Captain Cook Trail is wheelchair accessible, skirts the shoreline, and at low tide puts on quite a show that speaks for itself at Spouting Horn. That's pretty cool. Less than 5 miles away, another site requires a short stroll on a paved trail and then a quick ride down to sea level. Sea Lion Caves has been an Oregon coastal icon as far back as anyone can remember. 100 acres of private ownership since 1887.
I think we can hear them.
A drawing card for the curious and largest sea cave along both coasts, where 250 stellar sea lions are a raucous, rowdy crowd.
They are very, very social animals. The barking that they do, they're crawling over each other, they're nipping each other.
Back atop, keep sharp eye for soaring raptors on the hunt, or shorebirds that dance and dazzle and skirt the surf. It is a remarkable scene and often overlooked in winter.
Without a doubt, it's the most gorgeous stretch of the Oregon coast. It's just a place to relax, to wonder and wander if you want to.
Stay with us. It's a gathering of eagles in the Columbia River Gorge at a place that may surprise you, the Dalles Dam Eagle Watch, when Grants Getaways continues. When you step into Washington County's land of the giants,
yeah, I wish it was overcast now. It'd be easier to see them there.
It's best to have them in clear focus.
These are magnificent, huge trees, and it's hard to capture that on film.
2 rows of giant sequoia trees stand like sentinels just off Porter Road near Forest Grove.
Wow.
They are a wonder and a challenge for famed Oregon photographer Steve Terrell.
I like to photograph from out here, showing the whole realm of it. Then also get inside, show this beautiful twisted, gnarly bark and branches they have. It's almost magical looking. That when you walk in there, you're a little bit of a magical forest. It's really interesting.
The giants reach back to settlement days when entrepreneur John Ramsey Porter, fresh and flush from the California goldfields, settled in the county. Historian Mary Jo Morelli says Porter sold seedlings and seeds to eager homeowners wanting to show off their economic success, like these giants along Hawthorne Street.
Because they're so magnificent.
Word of mouth and a solid reputation meant easy sales for Porter to 19th century homeowners eager to make a statement.
We have the largest ones because of the early plantings. And they still are just this magnificent tree that works with the name Forest Grove. Just looking out over the town, you can see all the sequoias popping up.
There are more than 100 giant sequoias across the town, each more than 140 years old. This giant on the corner of Pacific and B is one for the record books. 152 feet tall, 32 feet around, largest in Oregon, and a state heritage tree that Terrell can't resist.
I try to get that feeling, I just try that. And it's the majestic power those trees have too, but the flow, every tree has a different flow to it. What I want people to do is look at this and say, geez, these are gorgeous. This is in Oregon, this is in Portland, I can go see this stuff.
Terrell says you don't have to travel far to see magnificent heritage trees, including the Hoyt Arboretum.
Oh, it's just unbelievably beautiful. It's a great place to come hike, enjoy yourself.
Terrell's been documenting hundreds of city heritage trees through a project sponsored by the Portland City Parks.
And I'll take notes. I'll seriously take notes thinking, well, I should be back here in a couple of months. I really work to bring it to life, if you will.
You can walk to many of the city and state heritage trees or visit them online and discover the stories the giants can tell. This winter, there's a gathering of eagles in the Columbia River Gorge at a place that may surprise you, the Dalles Dam Eagle Watch, on an outdoor tip of the week. Soaring on thermal updrafts, their size and white-capped heads give them away. Bald eagles on the hunt at a place that may surprise you.
Highest count this year has been 60-plus eagles, just in this area right here. Yeah.
Just roosting right over there.
They use it as a night roost.
Park Ranger Amber Tilton says eagles began showing up in big numbers at the Dalles Dam 7 winters ago.
Scan the tops of the trees.
Oh my. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One mature and the other look like immature. Tilton says they chose the wooded stand just across from Seufert Park for good reasons.
They need food and they need shelter in the winter. Due to the open water we have here, the Columbia River, it's prime hunting ground for eagles. It's secluded and quiet, so they're not getting interruption from human activity. So it's a perfect spot.
The dam eagles show up in late December, and they'll be here until early March before they head back north to nest as far away as Alaska. A spotting scope or binoculars help you see the show before you make a short drive to another site with even better eagle views.
So these are the two bald eagles that we have, a male and a female. Female is on the left right now. Both are with us because they're partial amputees, so they serve as ambassadors now.
Bambi Foy is the raptor education expert at the Columbia Gorge Discovery Center in the Dalles.
One was a shooting victim and one was found with gangrene. They don't know why or what happened, but it was found with that gangrene, and so they had to be partially amputated so they can no longer fly.
But they are awesome to see so close. You can too during the center's raptor programs held each Saturday and Sunday.
The red-tailed hawk gets her name from her beautiful red tail that she has there. Yeah.
Not just eagles, but other raptors too, like this red-tailed hawk.
They can dive at 120 miles an hour and hit a rabbit on the prairie at 100 miles an hour.
This Cooper's hawk is notable for his beautiful red eyes, and the slate blue color on this American kestrel male is stunning. A falcon relative, he is smallest of all the raptors. And then there's the visitor's favorite, an easy ID for kids and adults alike.
That is his distinct call. There's no other owl that has that specific call, and it is a whoo, 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 whoo. Now this is a male. Thank you.
Foy offers that 80% of raptors in the wild die before they reach the age of 2. So the center's varied species allow you a look at birds rarely seen so close.
I've seen grown men cry when they've heard the story of an eagle being shot. And when you see that, you know that you've changed somebody's life. It makes a great difference, and that is our goal, to make sure that they are around for generations to come.
Stay with us. A local artist has taken his art in a new direction through a children's book that offers a sense of wonder about all things outdoors. When Grants Getaways continues.
They're magical, it's true. Just watching them, the way they move.
Ever wonder where the really good ideas come from? Dean Krauser believes they begin where imagination travels, and you must be brave enough to follow.
They're so tiny, their color, their movement, their shape, everything.
Last year, we showed you how Krauser captures hummingbirds in a way no one has tried before. He doesn't paint every feather, but suggests what could be, and that sets him apart from everyone else.
I'm just trying to get something fun to happen here where you try to work kind of fast. Never would have imagined, and cliche or whatever, follow your dream. I think there's a lot of power to it. It's hard to do. It took me a lifetime to get to the point.
Krauser has spent decades traveling across Oregon, corner to corner. He owns a reputation as one of the region's finest wildlife artists. His work reflects adventure and inspiration from the wild moments he's found along the way, from the largest to the smallest of critters.
I really still can't believe it. I don't take it for granted. I'm thankful and grateful every day. I'm grateful of any customer who's ever bought my work, that they care enough to buy it and to part with their hard-earned money and everything.
Back then, we also got a sneak peek at something new, a children's story called Wonder. He penned the prose and all the artwork, and his book was published last summer.
And I took my paintbrush and I big blob on a piece of paper. And that's what it looked like.
This month, we got a test run of Wonder with a classroom of second graders at Banks Elementary.
You guys want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? You do? Okay.
It's a story about a little bear full of wonder for all that is wild outdoors.
With grace and with power, the rapids flow free. If a bear had a boat, could he float to the sea?
Dean credits his family for encouragement and inspiration to find the wonder in life.
Could a bear have a friend that's as small as a mouse? You think he could? Yeah? I kind of do too.
He asks youngsters to do the same.
People talk about dreams coming true, but in order to have a dream at all, you have to think about it. And in order to think about it, you have to wonder about it. It's the greatest gift there is just wondering about the world. Someone was talking about, how long are you going to do this for? And it's like, Why would I stop this? It took me my whole life to get here. Yeah, I'm having a great time. No complaints. The end. Thank you. That was fun.
We have all the details, directions, and the contact information for all the stories in this week's show on the KGW website, so be sure to check it out. Finally, it's always been my hope that Grants Getaways helps people smile and swell a bit with pride for all there is to see and do in Oregon. For gosh sakes, why live here if you don't go searching for those singular moments that set Oregon apart from just about everywhere else? So get out here and explore the Oregon outdoors and let KGW's Grants Getaways be your guide. For KGW and Grants Getaways, I'm Grant McComey.
Grants Getaways on KGW is sponsored by Bell Buoy of Seaside, England Marine and Industrial Supply, and Fishhawk Fisheries.